Hello, it's week 11 of pregnancy. You're probably wondering what to expect, including changes with you and baby development. Now, if you took an early pregnancy test, it's already been a full 7 weeks since you've known about your pregnancy. Week 11 is the third week of your third month of pregnancy. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about 11 weeks pregnant baby development, what symptoms and body changes you might be experiencing, and how to manage these. We are also going to talk about the things that you might want to be thinking about and doing when you are 11 weeks along. Finally, we are going to check in with the 2 mamas who we are following along as part of our expecting crew. Welcome to the Birth Toolbox Classroom. I'm Alice, a doula and a childbirth educator going week by week through pregnancy with you. Sounds like it's time for class. What is happening with baby's development this week? The baby, which is called a fetus at this point, is about the size of a plum, or measuring approximately 1.6 to 2.4 inches in length. Organs are continuing to develop and mature this week. You probably can't feel any of the baby's movements, but they are happening this week. The fetus is starting to stretch and flex and kick inside your uterus. During your 11th week, the fetus has the formation of tooth buds that will eventually develop into the baby's teeth. Now, at this stage, the baby's head is still about half of the length of its body. Their eyes are set wide apart and their ears are set lower than they will be at birth. What symptoms should you expect at 11 weeks pregnant? Well, as we talk about symptoms and body changes, the most important thing to know is that there's a wide range of symptoms that you can experience. You might experience all the possible pregnancy symptoms on my checklist or none, or somewhere in between, and that's totally okay. The most important thing to know is if you ever have any concerns about a symptom or a change with your body, don't hesitate to reach out to your care provider, which might be your general practitioner, your OBGYN, or a midwife. Now, the symptom checklist is very similar to week 10 and it's quite extensive. Common symptoms include fatigue, mood swings, heightened taste and smell, nausea and vomiting, frequent urination, dizziness and lightheadedness, bloating and constipation, and an increase in vaginal discharge. Now, changes you might be noticing with your body in the 10th week, you might be seeing your clothes being a little bit tighter around the middle. You might need to weed out some pants and use the rubber band trick to make the ability to wear those a little bit longer. Now, just like symptoms, everyone's body doesn't change at the same rate, and you might notice that if it's not your first pregnancy, your body's changing a little bit quicker this time around. Drop me a comment, let me know how you're doing this week. And it's time to check in with our expecting crew to see how they're doing in week 11.
I'm 11 weeks pregnant, and this week I've been feeling pretty good up until yesterday. I started feeling like I was coming down with a UTI, but I've got some antibiotics now. I'm gonna be drinking extra water. I made it to a gallon of water yesterday, so hopefully this should clear it up. And I've lost a little bit of weight since the beginning of my pregnancy, about 5 pounds, but I think that's tapered off now because my appetite is back up a little bit. I got my test results back from my first appointment with the midwife, and everything was good, except they did tell me I had low vitamin D, so I'm going to be taking extra vitamin D on top of what's in my prenatal. I think that's a pretty common problem. Yeah, I've been thinking about this week about how I'm going to adjust to having a toddler and a little baby, because my son's going to be turning 2 right before the baby's born. And I think I'm going to be trying a little extra hard to get him in his own bed, his own room, because he's still sleeping with me, and I don't think that's really going to work out with a little baby. I also want to try to get him potty trained too, but we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, that's been my week.
This week I am 11 weeks pregnant, and I'm feeling, mostly okay. Still getting tired a lot in the evenings, and my nausea has been back a little bit more this week than the last couple of weeks. And I've had a couple days this week that I'm like really struggling with eating. Even though I have this like huge appetite, I'm just like not enjoying food, like not really thinking of anything that I want to eat, except I'm really craving like a big deli meat sandwich. I can't really eat that, or maybe I'll have to find some alternative. Deli meat ham and pickles and tomatoes and cheese and mayo, and super simple, but like that's what I want right now. But yeah, that's one of the only things that sounds good. This week I'm thinking about baby names. My husband and I are starting to discuss like some name options. This was a really big debate for us through most of my first pregnancy. We have generally different taste in names, and I'm a lot more particular about names than he is. So finding where our tastes overlap was interesting. We didn't find out the sex of our baby for the first pregnancy, and we definitely went into delivery not having any options if it were to be a boy. Thankfully it was a girl, so we were fine, but yeah, I'm trying to be a little more open-minded about boy names this time, but it's like a little bit more complicated having one kid that we've named already and wanting to choose a name for our second baby that like kind of has a similar vibe, or at least like sounds good with our older child's name. And so that's like adding a little bit of an additional challenge, but an interesting challenge. So that's a really fun part for me. I love thinking about names and talking about names, and like, you know, just imagining who this little person is gonna be is really fun.
Well, it looks like baby names need to go on our Think About list this week. Maybe you've already been brainstorming, but if not, this is something fun to think about this week. And if you have the Feel, Think, and Do pregnancy journal, you'll find a spot in the planning section in the back to keep track of all of your ideas. Now, another thing to add from our expecting crew is older kid plan. Now, if this isn't your first pregnancy, it's never too early to think about what you need to do to prepare for new baby. Do you need to make changes at home? What kind of prep is needed? Now, on the do side, it's a great time to focus on rest. Do you have a bedtime routine? Following a bedtime routine can help you get more rest and better rest. And it's great for both you and your growing baby. Now, if you enjoy falling asleep to gentle music, I'm going to put a link down below to an 8-hour video that you can listen to for sleep. It's great for pregnancy. Thank you to our first trimester sponsor, 3 Lollies. I am thrilled to announce our first trimester sponsor, 3 Lollies. Now, if you aren't familiar with the 3 Lollies brand, you might recognize their most popular product, Preggie Pop Drops. The first trimester, it's a great time to have these on hand. Now, I remember when I was pregnant for the first time, and I didn't know when that nausea was going to hit. And it's called morning sickness, but unfortunately, it's not something that you only experience in the morning. Now, Preggie Pop Drops are a natural solution to this challenge. The Preggie Pop Drops come in 4 yummy flavors. They're all natural, they're drug-free. There's sour raspberry, green apple, sour lemon, and sour tangerine. I love that you can grab a package of 21 for just $5 on Amazon. Now, this is an affordable way to be prepared for the symptoms that you might face in the first trimester. So with 21, that means you can have these close by when you feel that wave of nausea hit. I would probably put 7 of them in my purse, 7 in the car, and 7 at my desk. Now, this brand has staying power. At the time of this video, they have over 20,000 Amazon reviews. So thank you, 3 Lollies, for helping us in the first trimester, and thank you for supporting childbirth education right here on YouTube. If you're following along in our Healthy Pregnancy book, linked down below, homework for this week is to check out pages 6, 7, and 8. So this has really good information on what prenatal appointments in your future are going to look like. And I look forward to meeting you right back here for week number 12.